Welcome back to Ayumu's BS Seminar. I'm glad to see that my ruling videos are well received, and there are people beginning to put up requests. This video was suggested by viewer Chloe Edwards. Thank you for the comment. So let's talk about Ascent today. Ascent is a keyword introduced back in set 1, acting as an additional cost to avoid the abuse of very powerful spirits. However, it seems that there are still a lot of players confused about the procedures of summoning a spirit with Ascent. First, let's go through the steps of a normal summon procedure with the help of the comprehensive rules. Session 10.6. Summoning a card. 10.6.1. To summon a spirit card means to place it on the field from some other area, turning it into a spirit. 10.6.2. Follow the steps below when summoning a spirit card. 10.6.3. Refill the card that is being summoned. 10.6.4. Determine the cost of the card that is being summoned. 10.6.5. Determine cost reduction. Reduce the cost of the card by 1 for each symbol on your field, matching one of the card's reduction symbols, limited by the amount of reduction symbols printed on the card. The resulting number becomes the summoning cost. 10.6.6. The player summoning the card moves a number of cards equals to the summoning cost from their field, their reserve, or both into their trash. This is called paying the summoning cost. 10.6.7. The card is placed on the field, and the player summoning the card places enough cost onto it to fulfill the cost of its lowest level, or more if they wish. These costs can come from their field, their reserve, or both. While the comprehensive rules and the FAQs didn't specify the timing of paying the Ascent cost, we can determine that by taking inferences from other parts of the rules. On the comprehensive rule line 10.6.6, we have the action of moving costs from the reserve or the field to pay the summon cost. Meanwhile, in Ascent question 3, it's stated that the Ascent target is selected and has its cost moved when paying the summon cost. By putting the two lines together, we get the implication that destroying the Ascent target is simultaneous to paying the summon cost. So now we can write out the steps precisely. You first refill the spirit card with Ascent that you're going to summon. Then you determine the cost to summon the spirit. The cost here doesn't only refer to the number at the top left corner of the card, but also any additional costs applied to the summon procedure. In this example, the additional cost is the Ascent cost, so in this step you also have to select your Ascent target. However, as mentioned previously in this video, you don't destroy the Ascent target yet. Moving on to the next step, you determine the reduction of the summon cost, which basically means you're doing some basic mathematical subtraction. Since your Ascent target isn't destroyed yet, you can also use the symbols as part of the cost reduction. And then we finally reach 10.6.6, where you actually remove the cost to pay the summon cost. Again, this is also the moment when you remove the cost from the Ascent target to the reserve. And finally, you put cost onto the summon spirit to maintain it at minimum level 1. Since this step is after you remove the cost from the Ascent target, you can use the cost that was supposedly on the Ascent target onto the summon spirit for maintenance. And there you go, you've learned how to summon a spirit with Ascent with the correct procedures. However, this isn't the end of the video. Keep the video on as I'll explain some of the rulings related to Ascent. With the addition of set 4, the Great Sapphire Labyrinth has become a widely used card due to the high popularity of Hydra, and from there, questions were raised about how the Nexus functions, specifically the level 2 effect. In case you didn't know about the card, here's what the level 2 effect does. Level 2 during your main step. When you summon a spirit card with Ascent from your hand, you may exhaust this Nexus to summon it without paying its additional Ascent summoning cost. I'll jump straight to the answers. If you're using the level 2 effect to ignore the Ascent cost, you do not need an applicable target on the field. Basically, while your field only consists of Labyrinth and no other cards, as long as it's at level 2, you can ignore the Ascent cost simply by exhausting it, even if your field doesn't already have any spirits. The other question people have is, when do you actually exhaust Labyrinth? And this is answered in question 474 of Labyrinth in the FAQ. You exhaust the Nexus when you show the spirit card from your hand, before you pay the summon cost. While it isn't pinpointed in what step of the comprehensive rules do you actually exhaust Labyrinth, we can guess that it happens at 10.6.3, since question 474 specifies that the moment is when you show the spirit. Either way, it's before you determine the summon cost. That's also why you can still use the two costs on Labyrinth for the summon cost or maintenance cost for the spirit, as by that point, Labyrinth has resolved its effect already. Hello, this is Ayumu from the future adding some further clarification. In the original script, I've stated that you exhaust Labyrinth at 1063, which seems to contradict with question 474, as the Q&A states that you do so after presenting the spirit card. However, I believe it's been worded this way since you can only trigger Labyrinth's effect after both you and your opponent have confirmed that the summoning spirit has ascended, so it specifically states that you exhaust Labyrinth only after you present the card. Additionally, Labyrinth uses the wording when you summon, indicating that the effect triggers and resolves at the beginning of the summoning process. And according to the comprehensive rules, the first step of the summoning process is 1063. Hence why I believe Labyrinth activates at that step. Now back to the rest of the video. And last but not least, there were also often questions on the timing of ascent targets activating their effects, most frequently about Deep Walker, as players would question whether Deep Walker will place the blue Nessus, in most cases using Labyrinth as an example, before or after Hydra's summon. In other words, if Deep Walker were to place Labyrinth from the trash when used as an ascent target for Hydra, would Labyrinth ram a core from Hydra's summon? The answer is no. In question 465 of Deep Walker, it's stated by the official that the Nessus is placed by Deep Walker after the summon using Ascend is complete, meaning the timing of placing the Nessus would be the same timing as a when summon effect. So by the time Labyrinth is placed out, the summoning procedure of Hydra is already over, and hence missing the trigger timing for the core boost. Oh, also, in case you're still confused, yes, Ascend is an effect, so any spirits with Ascend only, like Dino Carrier Apato, are not vanilla spirits. There are a lot of precisions concerning Ascend, but hopefully this video has answered most general questions about the keyword. As usual, if you have more questions, feel free to comment down below, and if you want a specific ruling video made, do also request below. I'm Ayumu Seiki, and this is the end of the seminar.